If you've ever been through a difficult situation or a difficult time in your life, this podcast episode will resonate with you. I understand that a lot of things that happen to us in life, we can't control. Adversity, obstacles, turbulence, it's just a natural part of life. There are a lot of things that get said online that people say to you that really don't serve you. And it's my intention in this episode to give you some clarity, some perspective, and hopefully help you by speaking about what I've experienced in my life to help you get better outcomes and to help you weather the obstacles, turmoil, and adversity that you will face in your life. My name's Monte Lee. I am the host of the Karat Juice podcast. And here at the Karat Juice podcast, we observe society, we digest it, and through the nuance of it all, we attempt to progress forward. The topic at hand today has to do with fortitude, in particular, mental fortitude. As I prefaced, no matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you have, you are going to face adversity. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to be down. You're going to have bad things that happen to you. But it's my position, and what I found most helpful in my life is during those times, I don't say, woe is me. I don't get down. I look inward and I say, okay, this is what's happening to me right now. But what can I do? What can I do? How do I respond to it? I'll tell you a story. So if you're not already familiar, my profession is I'm a probation officer. Okay. I supervise people. I hold people accountable, and I'm trying to make a difference that way. Oh, I'll say about almost 5 years ago, I was establishing myself in my career, making money that was way better than I had made when I was in college and when I was going up through entry-level work. So, feeling good. I decided to go on vacation. Okay. I went to one of my favorite places. One of my favorite places to go on vacation is Vegas. So, got it scheduled, had a time to go to Vegas for a week. Now, I would not recommend anybody do that. It wasn't a smart idea. I went to Vegas for a week. 4 days is probably the most I would say you should do this. Bruh. Okay. So we went there, did that, went to Vegas for a week, had fun. I'm not a big gambler, but I like to eat food and to kind of walk around and see the different sites and do some shopping while I'm there. So that's what I did. Spent a good amount of money. I probably say close to, with all things considered, about $2,000. All right. Nothing too crazy. Do that, come back. And when I came back, I had it scheduled that I was going to be living in an apartment right downtown to where I lived at, which was close to work. This apartment was way more expensive than my other apartment, but I was like, hey, I'm getting better money now. Things are good. I just got back from Vegas. I'm ready to go. All right. So I'm on a high at that point. What happens then? I go into the office, and in the middle of the day, I'm doing my paperwork, doing my work, and I get a notification, email. Hey, the administrator, the supervisor, the lead of the court wants to speak with you. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm figuring that he wants to talk to me because of what a great job I'm doing. Right. So later that day, I go in, I had just signed a lease to this new apartment, and I speak to the court administrator. I walk in, I sit down in his office, nice corner office. And he tells me, hey, Monte, you're respected. A lot of people like you. You do great work for us. But unfortunately, due to budget concerns, what have you, we're going to have to let you go. I just was silent for a moment. I didn't say anything. I just sat there, took it all in. And then I said, thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity that I had here. And then I went about my day. I think they gave me a little bit of time. They might have gave me a month from that time to when I would actually have to be gone. So I worked out my time. And eventually I had this higher than usual rent payment that I had to account for and no job. This is what you call adversity. And you want to know something? When that happened to me, I am grateful for it now looking back. Why am I grateful? I'm grateful because it taught me an important life lesson: to never get too comfortable. Shout out to Future. To never get too comfortable. Before getting laid off in that situation, I thought I had stability. I was comfortable. I was getting a government wage, had a nice salary, had a nice 401k plan, and that all got pulled up from under me. At that point, I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to do. But you want to know something? It forced me to focus. That adversity and those obstacles that I was facing now forced me to focus on what I can control. And what could I control? How I utilize my time from that day moving forward. Long story short, I ended up applying at a bunch of different places, and I ended up taking a position at a firm that does sales and marketing. At the time, I didn't know what type of sales and marketing that they did, but I figured I have good people skills. I'll make it work and be able to thrive in this position. They did a lot of personal development and self-improvement stuff. All right. Eventually, what I found out was it was direct sales. Yes, it was direct sales. Going to people's doors and knocking to provide a service and a product. It's not for the faint of heart. You face a lot of rejection. You get doors slammed in your face. You have a lot of awkward moments, but I am very grateful for that time. But because it forced me to face that adversity head on, face the obstacles that I was facing, and also to use the skills that I was learning to create my own future, create my own destiny, right? What's the moral of the story? Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you need to embrace those difficult times in your life when you don't have it all figured out and you don't know what's going on. That's what I had to do. And the reason why I'm passionate about this topic and about mental fortitude and toughness, because when you go through things like that, like I just talked about, it kind of rewires your brain. It forces you to remain present. It forces you to not depend on anyone else, to not worry about things you can't control. Why am I saying all of this? And why do I keep speaking on this topic about being productive, about being mentally strong and aware? Because I'm starting to realize that in my life, what's helped me to be successful, what's helped me to thrive and to grow as a content creator, as a podcaster, in my career with people, is using something that's called Stoicism. And I didn't even know that that's what I was doing before, but it all is starting to click with me now. What is Stoicism in a nutshell? For me, it's what I was talking about. Stoicism is all about gathering insight, knowledge, wisdom, learning from your experiences, developing a philosophy, and not focusing on outside factors that happen to you in the world. Instead, looking inward and focusing on what you can control. That's my definition of what Stoicism is. There were a ton of great philosophers and Stoics over the years, and I'm doing study on them. Right now, I am listening to the audio book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I'm learning each and every day more about that. And what I am learning is I think it's important for people to develop their own philosophy in life, to have their code that they live by, because once you do that, you'll have peace within, and you'll be content with where you are in life, and you'll know that anything that happens to you will not break you because you control your destiny. One of my favorite quotes ever is by Bruce Lee, and it's, "To hell with circumstances. I create my opportunities." To hell with whatever circumstances. Create your opportunity. Why am I talking about this? Why am I passionate about it? Because it's my experience that the world is trying to tell so many people that the reason why they're where they are, the reason why they are where they are is because of somebody oppressing them or somebody not putting them first or some disadvantage that they may have. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, no, the reason why I'm not where I want to be, the reason why I haven't succeeded and done things that people who are super successful have done, because of choices that I have made. But you know what? I have the ability and I'm able to control my opportunities from here moving forward. Once you change your mindset in this way, there's a peace and a freedom that comes with it. I'm developing my own philosophy each and every day. I don't claim to have all the answers. I look to people with more wisdom than me to kind of navigate through this world. But I've said, and I'll continue to say, that don't let social media, don't let people talking about negative things cloud your mind, cloud your mindset, because it's easy and it can happen without you knowing. I think that the key to true wealth and the key to true power and influence and just wisdom comes from being present. I don't even know if I'm making a lot of sense right now, but this is therapeutic for me. And if I could help one person from having this lesson in mentality, I've served my purpose of what I wanted to accomplish in this episode. See, I think that more so than anything, there are a lot of people who have stopped thinking, have stopped having those thoughts in their mind about what does this all mean? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life? And I'll say I've had those type of thoughts in my mind. I used to have them way more when I was younger, but as you go through the monotony, as you go through all of the, just normal routines of life, sometimes you can lose that dialogue. At least I know that's true for me. Like me personally, go back to the story. When I was going through that difficult time and I was doing the direct sales and stuff, it was difficult. It was the money that was coming in. You never knew what it was going to be. And I faced adversity and obstacles and turmoil and stress having to do with finances during that time, because I had just got this lease for this apartment that was way more expensive than the one I had before, and I didn't have a stable income. I had an income that was based off of commission. And I was in bad shape after 4 or 5 months, you know, like this close to facing eviction. It didn't get evicted, but I was this close to facing it. I've been through some tough stuff in my life. Having to ration out, 40 or $50 to try to make it work for the next 2 weeks because money was tight. And this was not that long ago, maybe 4 years ago. I was in some tough stuff, really difficult times. That's why this resonates with me, because I've lived it. And I think a lot of people, even if they're not saying it, are dealing with some tough things right now in their lives. If it's not due to inflation, if it's due to their health, or it's due to their mental state, people don't talk about real things that are happening to them. And I think that's unfortunate, because we're all in this journey of life together. And I know that sometimes people are being tough and being, what do you call it? Just trying to shoulder that entire load. And I don't think masculinity, I don't think being a man is about not talking about your faults or talking about trials and tribulations that you've gone through. I think there's strength with recognizing that you don't have it all figured out, but you are present, and then you're focusing on what you can control in the moment. That's what I want people to start doing and to start thinking about when they're going through a tough time. What can you do right now to ensure that you're better today than you were yesterday, and that you're moving towards being more productive, being more financially stable? That's why I have on this platform content like when I'm talking about developing your skill set. If you don't want to go to college, you don't have the money to go to college, you can develop in the trades and things like that, and vice versa. And also not having excuses. All right. So this series, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I think it's centered around like life lessons and mentality. And in all honesty, this is what I appreciate and I enjoy doing more so than anything. Just kind of having a life lessons, productivity based conversation. And this is therapeutic for me, guys. It really is. And, I also wanted to bring this up in regards to the podcast. The previous schedule with the podcast was usually every Tuesday, but I'm shifting some things out around with what I'm going to be doing with the podcast. And I think moving forward, what I want to do is I want to go strictly to Fridays for the podcast, where I'll put out a podcast every Friday, and we'll go from there. I appreciate people listening to the podcast, rocking with me. And for my podcast listeners, I appreciate you. Do me a favor. If you enjoy this content and you're getting value out of it, like the video, subscribe. No, not like the video. Pardon me. I make mistakes, guys. I make mistakes. All right. Don't like the video. Please go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you consume podcasts, and rate and review the podcast, please. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube or Facebook, like the video, hit the notifications, and also subscribe or follow the channel. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get off of my chest. It's fall time, and a lot of people are going to be at home now. A lot of people are going to be trying to figure out what the holiday season is going to be looking like. There's going to be people going and visiting family. And then there's also people who maybe aren't the most social and they're going to be spending a lot of time inside. I encourage you, when you have the time, to look into Stoicism, to look into philosophy that revolves around gathering wisdom and knowledge and what Stoicism means. I'm going to be diving deeper into this because I'm passionate about it and I think it's helpful and useful, and it's helped me in my life even when I didn't even know it, because it forced me to be present. But I really do think this could help people. It's helped me more than I could ever know. Like, for instance, when it comes to just creating content, and like, I got my YouTube channel monetized in 3 months. And it wasn't because I got lucky or anything like that. It was literally, I put out a video every day for 3 months. I was disciplined and I didn't care what the outcome was going to be at the time. Like, I put out a video, I didn't care if it got a couple views or not. To me, it was all about the process of creating the content. And every day I was getting better by publishing a piece of content. You need to have that same type of approach with whatever you're doing in life. Sometimes you're not going to get the results right away with what you're doing, whether it's becoming a real estate agent or whether it is starting your business and developing your clientele. Sometimes you're not going to get the results. The majority of the time, you're not going to get the results right away. But you have to realize that that sweat equity and that process that you're going through right now is actually helping you build up a skill set, even if you're not getting the results right now. Delayed gratification is important. We live in an instant gratification culture, however. Delayed gratification is important, but we live in an instant gratification culture. And I know that there are times initially where I'll be looking at like my analytics, or I'll be looking at something that I got going on, and I'm looking for the results to be there right away. But I have to look at myself and say, hey, I am developing a skill set and an ability to do skills that are valuable. So even if I'm not getting the results that I want right away fast, I'm still developing a skill set that's going to be so valuable in the future. So it's all about changing your mindset and your mentality when it comes to things like this. I just kind of went on a tangent about that, but I think it was worth talking about right there in that moment. So yes, for my podcast listeners, I am going to be putting out the podcast on Fridays now. Expect bonus content on the feed as well. Also, for people who just want more content regarding Carrot Juice Podcast, you can go to carrotjuicepodcast.com. carrotjuicepodcast.com. I'm also on Facebook, of course, YouTube, Instagram, as well as TikTok. You can reach out to me on Instagram if you have any ideas on any content you would like me to cover or talk about. Also, subscribe to the content again on YouTube, hit the notification bell, and also in the comment section, talk to me and interact with me. I try to respond to the comments the best I can. I want to have this be an interactive community. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I just wanted to provide this lesson on mental fortitude, mental strength, and the importance of it and the relevance of it in your life. Because like I've said before, we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. So without further delay, I want to honor your time. That's the lesson that I have for today. So like I say every time here on the Carrot Juice Podcast, love someone, hug someone, do something good for someone, not expecting anything in return. And until we speak next time, I'll see you. Peace. We're gone.